Hello, guys. Welcome back to TFD with another banger with Cordy. All right. Today, we need to talk about something that has been bugging the ever-living shiznit out of me for at least 2 months now. And that is, obviously, the ongoing negotiations for a new CBA between the Players Union and the NBA owners. But here's the thing. One major question still hasn't been answered. How much money did the league actually make or lose in 2025? I've been waiting for this information, and it's still nowhere in sight. Just a few minutes ago on Twitter, I see This Rhodes Rants tweets. He is also a big sports analyst and creator. Shout out to Rants. He continuously asking big questions to WNBA. He said the following. Back in October 2024, we found out the WNBA had lost $40 million during the 2024 season. The season had literally just ended, and boom, there it was. We already knew they lost money. But now it's 2025. Where's the financial report? Who's holding it? Why don't we know? There's a lot of speculation. Is it because the players don't want it public if the league lost money again or barely broke even? I mean, come on, transparency matters, right? The New York Post even ran an article on October 18th, 2024, detailing the losses. And now it's December 2025, and we still don't have anything concrete. And let's keep it real. Yes, the league did secure a massive $2.2 billion media rights deal, but hold on. That new contract with Disney, Prime Video, and NBC Universal, which will distribute 125 WNBA games annually from 2026 through 2036, does not factor into 2025 revenue. So that does not explain the missing numbers for last year. So I ask again, who's holding these numbers? Are the CBA talks playing a role in keeping them under wraps? Or is there just a delay in reporting? Either way, this is a critical piece of the puzzle for understanding the financial health of the league. And honestly, we deserve to know. So stick around, because today we're diving deep into the WNBA's finances, the 2025 mystery numbers, and why the league's profit or loss matters more than ever for the players, for the fans, and for the future of the game. Now, I want to know exactly who's sitting on these numbers, because somebody is hiding them, and I'd really love to know who. While exact net profit figures aren't public, well, why not? They were public in 2024. The WNBA projected massive revenue growth in 2025, potentially reaching $1 billion or more, driven by stars like Caitlin Clark, new media deals, increased viewership, and surging ticket and merchandise sales. Reports indicate significant jumps from 2024's $710 million in revenue, even as debates continue over player revenue share and player housing/salary issues in the new CBA talks. All right, let's break it down. Key financial indicators and projections for 2025. Revenue boom. Deloitte projected women's basketball revenue alone to hit $1 billion in 2025, a major leap from $710 million in 2024. Women's sports overall, targeting $2.35 billion globally. Star power, Caitlin Clark's impact dramatically boosted ticket prices, up 140% for Fever away games. Viewership, topping some NBA preseason games. Merchandise sales, up 500%. New media deal, a new $2.2 billion 11-year national media rights deal began in 2025, adding significant revenue streams. So yeah, somebody knows the full story. And honestly, I want to see it. Well, that's exactly why I brought you over here, to show you very clearly that the media rights deal does not kick in until they actually start playing games next year. Not this year, next year. That's the entire point. That's why I wanted to walk you through this slowly, because until those games are played, the league is not getting that money yet. They're not seeing that cut. Period. Now, do I expect the league to eventually show a profit once this new media rights deal kicks in? Yeah, I do. I absolutely do. When you look at the numbers, it's not even complicated. They re-upped the deal with Scripps for Ion 2, and now you're talking about roughly $240 to $260 million per year. Compare that to what they were making before, around $60 million per year. That's not a small bump. That's a $200 million gain annually. So yes, once that money starts flowing, I fully expect the league's revenue picture to look completely different. When we get to October of 2026 and we're looking back at the 2025-26 season, do I expect those numbers to be up? Of course I do. Between the new media deal, expansion fees, and other revenue streams, it would be shocking if the numbers weren't higher. But here's the problem, and this is the part nobody seems willing to answer. Where are the numbers right now? Where are the 2025 financials? Who has them? Who's holding on to them? And why haven't they been released? Think about this for a second. Back in 2024, the New York Post had no problem reporting that the NBA lost $40 million. The season had barely ended, and those numbers were already out there. And by the way, if you go back and read that article, it clearly stated that NBA owners were furious, not mildly annoyed, furious that they had lost money again. Fast forward to now. We're in the middle of CBA negotiations. Players are talking about strikes. Tensions are high. And suddenly, silence. No financial report, no leaks, no follow-up articles, nothing. So ask yourself, do they not want these numbers going public right now? Because the timing would be very inconvenient, wouldn't it? And let's talk about the media for a second. Look at how coverage has gone. ESPN, front office sports, especially front office sports, have been overwhelmingly pro-player. I mean, impartial? Forget about it. That doesn't exist in this conversation. The coverage is one-sided, and it's obvious. Honestly, the only person I've seen approach this objectively is David Sampson. The same David Sampson who went on with Dan Le Batard and openly said, yeah, owners might shut the whole league down. That's honesty. That's realism. Everything else has felt like advocacy, not analysis. So again, I'll ask the question nobody wants to answer. Where are the numbers? Who's holding them? And why, in the middle of the most important labor negotiations this league has ever faced, are we being kept in the dark? Because until those numbers come out, everything else is just noise. It's my belief, and I don't say this lightly, that the sports media already has these financial figures and is actively choosing not to put them out to the public. Because when you really stop and think about it, this silence makes no sense. There are no articles. None. And honestly, I'm shocked by who hasn't touched this. Forbes hasn't touched it. The Wall Street Journal hasn't touched it. And front office sports? Forget about it. Not a chance. If we are wrong, prove me wrong. Release the profit or no profit figures. Because somebody knows. There is no scenario where nobody knows. And the fact that nothing has leaked, that's what really raises red flags for me. Here's how we know they know. You cannot have active CBA negotiations without having the numbers. It's impossible. These talks don't happen in a vacuum. Somebody has the balance sheets. Somebody has the financial breakdowns. Somebody has the ballots on the table. So where are they? Where are those numbers? And this leads me to the real issue. This is exactly why the players should have waited. They should have waited until after next season. Let the new media rights deal kick in. Let that revenue actually hit the books. Then, boom, pull the plug. Opt out of the CBA a year early once you actually have leverage backed by hard data. Because here's the risk. If somebody grows a backbone and releases these figures, and it turns out the league made, let's say, $14 million in profit, that's a problem. That's a massive public relations problem, especially when you're asking for revenue sharing and pushing for what amounts to an 8 times salary increase. We did the math. We literally pulled out a calculator. And we'll say this right now. We actually think there's an outside chance the league may have made a small profit for the first time ever. Maybe 20 million, maybe 10 million, maybe even less. But that's the point. If the profit is small, I don't think the players want the public to know what that number really is. Because once people see it, the optics flip immediately. You're no longer the underdog fighting a system that's bleeding money. Now you're negotiating while the league is technically in the black, however small that margin may be. And that changes everything. Fans, media, casual observers, they will look at those demands very differently. And that's why I believe we don't have these figures yet. Not because they don't exist, but because they're being intentionally held back until after a new CBA is signed, sealed, and delivered. But here's where we stand. We want these numbers before that happens. We want to know now. We want to be able to come on here before any deadline and say, all right, the league lost $12 million again, or the league made $9 million. And if somehow, some way, they pulled off a miracle and made $100 million, I'd be skeptical. But fine, show it, prove it. So we will ask again, why haven't we gotten these numbers yet? Because until we do, nothing about this negotiation is honest. Tell me what you think, and don't forget, like and subscribe.